Hi, everybody. Ken Morse here. Um, Today I'm starting a series of interviews uh, with community folks to learn about a lot of the great projects that make this area so wonderful. Um, Today I'm going to be talking with Scott Vlaun. Scott is the director of the Center for Ecology-Based Economy here in Norway, and I'll be talking with him today about the Community Food Council work. Um, and I might just add that as I do these interviews, and I'm hoping to do a series of them, um, the folks I'm talking with are doing this out of the goodness of their heart, and it doesn't necessarily indicate that their organization has endorsed me. So, having said that, I'll bring on the interview that I did the other day with Scott. Here we go. So, hi, Scott. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Ken. How about yourself?
Good, good. So, I wanted to talk to you about some of the food projects that you're involved in. Um, we'll uh, mention your job as the coordinator of the main network of community food councils, uh, and which is something I had shared with you until fairly recently, um, and we can expand on that a little bit more later if we decide to. But primarily, I'm interested in the local food projects that Community Food Matters, which is the food council, the community food council that serves this foothills area in Oxford Hills, um, and that is housed at CB, where you work. So, could you start by just giving a little bit of background about that, and then we'll talk some about some of the projects that are in the works right now.
Yeah, sure. Like you mentioned, we have our local food council, the Community Food Matters. It was housed within CB, kind of as a project of CB for a while, but at this point, we're just the fiscal sponsor for Community Food Matters, and we're one of the key organizational partners. And we have a number of different projects going through that. We meet regularly. Um, Up until the COVID-19 thing, we focused a lot on some kind of foundational work, building a community food charter, which we launched last February before the pandemic struck. And that was over a year project of getting people all from all sectors of the community to come together and talk about what they really, their vision for what a good community food system would look like, with healthy food for all being on the top of that list. And then as soon as the pandemic hit, we really have focused on some food security projects. Um, Two big ones this past summer and spring. Well, three really. One is we have been building gardens for people. A lot of people are uncomfortable going into the community garden these days. So we built 13 gardens around the community for different organizations or individuals. It's called Solidarity Gardens. And that's been really well received. And then we also we have a project here called Spoke Folks. It's a cargo bike cooperative that initially was planned to pick up trash and recycling and food waste in the community, and then take that food waste and recycle it into compost at the community garden to give back to people, but also for use at the community garden. But we launched it early as a food delivery service when the pantries were closed, and we were delivering especially to a lot of seniors around the community using a cargo bike and socially distancing. And then just most recently, we've started Foothills Food Works, which is trying to help local farmers creating a market for local farmers. So we're buying produce, buying meat and things from local farmers. We're aiming to hire some local food system workers that are underemployed or unemployed, and then working with food pantries and other distribution. So we're creating community meals. We just delivered our second one this morning. It was shepherd's pies made with local bison meat from Beach Hill and local carrots from Moose Pond and herbs from Patch Mountain. So engage local farms, local chefs, and local food pantries to help feed people in need, but feed them really quality local food. So yeah, lots of different projects going.
So how many of those meals are you delivering?
Today we did 60. Last week we did 50. We weren't sure, how many and those, sold out. They were all distributed, so we increased it to 60. I guess those were all sold. One of the things that we would like to do is create a surplus so that we could also sell meals, because this isn't like, we're aiming to make really high quality foods, restaurant quality food. So we'd like to be able to distribute as many as are needed free, but also to sell some to the rest of the community to make the project sustainable, to raise money for the project.
Yeah. And did you say you're delivering those by your bicycle crew, or?
So the Spoke Folks is delivering the whole package from the restaurant, or in this case, it went from the restaurant to Fair Share Co-op, which is also a partner in this project. They donated some of the food for this last meal. So they delivered from the co-op to the food pantry, and then from the food pantry, there were a number of places that didn't have the means to get to the food pantry. So Spoke Folks delivered out to the Hebron Road and then out here to Water Street. So they delivered, 8 or 10 meals to people that couldn't make it to the pantry to pick them up.
I see.
So, yeah.
And do you have some grant funding or donations, or how did you're paying the farms, or is it kind of a combination?
Yep. We are paying the farms. Some of them have offered us a discount, but our aim is to support the local farms. So we want to be paying the farms. We want to be paying restaurant workers. So far, 76 Pleasant has donated their kitchen and their time. In the future, we're going to be using the Grange kitchen here and bringing in chefs so that we don't have to tie up kitchens from restaurants. So chefs can come in, plan a meal. We have a sous chef that's a volunteer that's going to make sure they have everything they need, communicate ahead of time, somebody from Cafe Nomad. And then we've got some workers from Cafe Nomad as well. So that's how that's going to work. So we're trying to, support the local food economy at the same time as getting emergency food to people that need it.
And so will you be gradually scaling up how much you get from local farms, how many cooks are involved, and how many meals you're providing?
We would love to do that. Right now, we're operating on a part of an emergency food grant that we got from the Sewell Foundation. We allocated a portion of that to this project, but we've also started to apply for other grants and sponsorships for the project as well to keep this going.
Is there a way that local folks that might want to support this, that they could make donations, contributions to help out?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can go to the CB website and donate and earmark that for Foothills Food Works. Okay. We put out a newsletter last night, CB newsletter, and we have the project on there, and we got a couple of donations right after the newsletter dropped. So, yep, you can just contact CB and let us know that you want to donate, and people can write checks or whatever to support the project.
And going back to Spoke Folks for a minute, how often are you doing that?
So Spoke Folks is in its nascent stage, but there's 3 worker owners that are developing the project with the support of the Cooperative Development Institute, and we haven't actually launched So we started out doing this food delivery stuff, and that was kind of like we just turned on a dime. We weren't intending. We thought maybe food delivery would come much later. So we started delivering once for the pantries, one of the local pantries, or actually a couple of pantries. We were delivering food to people. So now we're shifting our gears towards our original business model, which is to haul trash and recycling and food waste in the community. And that will be done on a weekly basis for customers. We can haul food waste on a weekly or um, biweekly system, but we're also going to be hauling for trash and recycling for businesses as well, and food waste for local restaurants. So depending on the situation, like for restaurants, we may haul twice a week, especially in the summer when that stuff can get kind of nasty. So that'll be more like individual contracts, but we have a general pickup schedule. It'll be once a week for residents that will haul their stuff to the transfer station.
And that's a people pay a fee for that service.
Yes. Yep, it's a fee that's roughly comparable with what you'd pay a stinky, noisy garbage truck to come in
Yeah.
and haul your stuff off. But we're going to, have things sorted, trash, recycling, and food waste, which is a service that no one else offers.
And you have a special trailer. I think I saw the special trailer at your.
Yeah, we do. We bought a trailer from Bikes at Work, which is a company out in Iowa that makes these specialized bike trailers. Our trailer will haul about 400 pounds.
Okay.
We can put 12 of those big totes on there. So each tote, we'll have the totes sorted between, certain kinds of recycling and trash, and then and food waste.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you using electric bikes or just human powered bikes?
At this point, it's just human power. There's a couple of areas of Norway that are inaccessible with that trailer and just human power because of the hills. And there's some talk of if we once we start to generate some cash flow of maybe getting an electric bike or an electric cargo bike to
Yeah.
augment. Even an electric bike with this trailer trying to go up a hill, there's just not enough traction. So a cargo bike would be a little heavier and be able to. I actually got dragged backwards. I stalled on a hill with the full load on the trailer and started to get dragged backwards down the hill. So we've got a learning curve. We've been hauling. We used the bikes to build the Solidarity Gardens. So we were hauling lots of lumber and soil and compost on the bike. So we had it loaded pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're learning.
And the Solidarity Gardens, are those do people that you're helping out with those build those for them or working with them to build them? Do they pay for that, or is that?
It was a free service. Again, it was part of that Sewell Foundation grant. We allocated some funding towards this. A few people donated that didn't have the wherewithal to build them themselves, but had some money to put into the project, and that helped go back in. It was a collaboration with the Allendale Community Garden.
Yeah.
The community garden provided some labor and all the seeds for the project, and they're also providing. We're following up with the gardeners to see how the gardens are doing and offering help. We've started to get some pictures back. We got pictures back from this little honeybee pediatrics where they're using the gardens to help kids with like a therapy garden for kids, and the garden looks great, and they report like the kids are really enjoying like hauling the water out there and planting the seeds and learning about the plants and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Okay.
Bye. So that's the interview with Scott. Thanks, Scott, for doing that. And over the coming weeks, I'll hope to do more interviews. I think to start with, I'm going to focus on community food work, but I likely will do some other things as well. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoyed this.